kind of hope for it, help them out, it'd be really great. Because I see a lot of potential for this. I'm going to go right in the middle here. Yes, Donica. I know you.
Y'all, congratulations. You are an amazing DP, first of all. Oh, thank you. You are an awesome
That would be jazz as well, everybody. Wrote the music and did the sound.
A lot of it is natural sound that we were able to pick up, but there was also a fair amount of sound effects and ADR work, and because as you imagine, being behind mask and you're saying stuff, so yeah, we had trains going over by replay, so there's a lot of stuff you're battling for audio, but it was so much fun being able to work with the sound effects and mix the dialogue, and the music was huge. As I mentioned in the behind the scenes, the three of us worked on that and just making that carry the film and rocking out. So a lot of fun working on the sound. A lot of work, but so much fun.
All right, I'm going to take two more questions. You over here had a hand up over here. Yes, young lady. The suit? Metalhead, yeah? Who wants to speak to that? To the Metalhead robot. Who made that or who can talk about it?
So my good friend Victor, he is not here today. He is really big in the cosplay community. He's always going to Comic-Con and Wizworld, which is now what Fan Expo, I believe it's called. They brought up the idea of like, hey, we want to create this like metalhead costume, what should we do? And I was like, I know someone who makes ridiculous cosplays. So Adam reached out to him and they kind of shared the idea that they had for Metalhead and what they wanted them to look like and how they needed a person to fit into this. And Victor went to work and he got Metalhead.
Which that little person inside of Metalhead is actually Chaz's cousin, RJ, who lives in Las Vegas. We couldn't be here, but
Give it up for RJ. That's right. All right, question right over here. Last one of the night, probably. A nice disclaimer. Go ahead. The hardest character to develop for this project? Adam, Steve, Chaz? Hopefully not all three of you.
I think Steve should take this, guys. What do you think?
Come on, Steve! Doctor, whatever.
I mean, as far as like design and development, Metalhead was really a huge challenge. We had to figure out how to design something that would fit on a person and look like a robot turtle. Not necessarily the most natural things in the world. So we spent probably a couple of months going back and forth on designs. And once Victor started working on the prototype or the suit, things just kind of fell together. And it was a big challenge, but I think what you saw on the screen was something to be impressed by.
Well, and I'll say this too, like, there's some pretty fun VFX moments, and I have to applaud our VFX team that...
Please give a hand to the effects, because I really was blown away by a lot of the moments today.
They did so much stuff to help really bring to life these characters, whether it was, the Mortal Kombat X-Ray, when Casey's cracking skulls in the opening, or Metalhead's blast. It's just all these little things that we knew that we wanted to do just to bring it a little bit more further into, something exciting. And those guys did such a good job and helped sell the characters even more, like Metalhead, because, having him show up is one thing, but we're like, we kind of want him to blast somebody too. So, going to, some of our friends and being like, can you do this? And they're like, yeah, I think I can pull that off. And it's so much fun to see.
There was two more questions. I know we said we were wrap, but there was two that I would
Sure,
like
let's
to
hit
take.
it.
And it was our first question right here, this man right here. Yes, very big fella right there. And then the other one after you is, this guy showed up as a badass Casey Jones, and I just need to know.
Oh, well, I
what's
got a
the
good
sense.
question.
And where else? Chaz has a request too. And no, this is a
Go ahead, you right there.
For us, so.
Alright, so just one thing I'm wondering is there a city that full Triceratops has?
It's a real nerd right here. Thank you, man.
Yes.
Very good question. Another example of how this has many avenues going forward.
There's a whole mask. There's a whole costume. We'll probably, if we get a chance to work on more Casey, we'll probably develop it a little bit more than what it is right now. But yeah.
It's there.
It was something where it's like, this looks good from the back, let's do that.
All right, Adam, where else did you put right here? Someone big.
Fangoria.
Oh my gosh, for like video game animation?
Yeah.
That's something I played in the 90s. Go
So
ahead.
again, that's one of our. His name is Joey Goodlow, amazing VFX artist. He also did a lot of the VFX shots in the film. He actually did the lightning effect. So when Casey goes full Thor, that's all him too. He's an amazing artist. But one of the references that we had in there was Streets of Rage, so that kind of arcade beat 'em up style. I'm sure everyone's a little familiar with Shredder's Revenge that just came out. Turtles are synonymous with those beat 'em up style classic video games. Yeah, it's just like such a big part of the DNA of Turtles. And one of the early conversations we had was like, instead of just credits, credit crawl, let's have something fun. And I really like what they've done in like the past couple years with like the way that Sonic ends and stuff like that. And he was like, let me take a crack at this, and just did this killer minute and a half 16-bit beat 'em up. And I mean, we all want a video game version of that thing, so we'll see what happens. But he did an amazing job.
And the opening sequence was done by one of our other visual effects guys, Dominic Valdez. He took some really rough storyboards and turned it into something that really tells the story of the gun being brought down from the Triceratops ship, and the foot soldiers hideout, and Casey in the arcade, just to tell the story before we tell the story.
Another reason to support the people who make films, not just the actors. Give a hand to the crew and the effects people and all the people behind the scenes. None of the stuff that the actors are doing would look good without that. All right, what was the other question you were talking about, Adam? What was it over here? Was it Joe, right? Come on, Joe.
So when this inevitably blows up and you get your own Netflix series,
Hey, come on.
what's the tie-in? What's the next merchandising tie-in that you would like to include? And how do we help you guys get the word out so that this can be huge?
Like, share, subscribe.
So Friday on YouTube, but then so Sunday is the music video and that drops, and then Monday we have the behind the scenes. But really, yeah, it's going to be word of mouth and just letting the community know that hey, there's this little film that exists, and it's 28 minutes long. It won't take up too much of your time, but I think if you're a Turtle fan and just love the 80s, there's a lot to sink your teeth into. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, and we really want something big to come from this. But like Adam said, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, and I know that there is the film, but honestly, feel free to share the things like our cheesy 80s style music video and the making of, like, the whole thing really is a love letter to, I think we all are longing for this type of entertainment that we don't have anymore. Like, we don't really have the fun metal arena band, There was a time in the 90s where there was like the Ninja Turtles music tour, and it was terrible, but it was so...
Oh, I saw it. It was great, but awful.
But that's what we're trying to do, is just sort of tap into that thing that we loved and actually make it something that you can watch now, and it's you feel it. So yeah, share it. We did the whole soundtrack. There's a soundtrack, and yeah, if you guys have anything anything positive, and I know it sounds lame, but like putting it on a YouTube video, putting it on our our Instagram channel, and you know, so
And your Instagram channel is Chromatic Phantom if you're not already following it. Also go follow Motion 66. Go follow all these things. When all the stuff drops on Friday and Sunday and Monday, give it a share. That'll be very helpful, right?
And thank you again. Honestly, I do want everyone to just please give it up again for the cast and crew. With the Lenise, hey Lenise, hi. Lenise showed up at the drop of a hat. I said, hey, will you show up and let Kaylee just sort of like beat you up a little bit? She's April O'Neil. So she's an amazing fighter, amazing actor. All the stuntmen are so talented, and this thing would be like, me just running like an idiot without it.
In addition to the film dropping Friday and the other two, the soundtrack does also drop Friday, which is 22 songs, and you hear bits and pieces of them in the film, but this thing is a shred fest, and it's it's free. You can stream it on Spotify, YouTube Music. It's all out there on Friday, so have fun with it. It's synthwave and rock and all kinds of fun mishmash. I don't know if you heard Vern's thing, but it's like jazz fusion rock thing going too. So it's all over the place, but check out the soundtrack.
So yes, I guess with that we'll wrap it up. Again, first of all, the after party's at Ricochet's after this, right? Which isn't very far from here. Yes?
It's a block away.
It's a block. It's
It's
over
a
on
block
Lincoln.
away. On your way out, please take photos of stuff. We have the actual.
Go check out the merch table.
We have a merch table. We have some of the actual props at the end of the hall. We would love to talk with you, take photos and step and repeat. And thanks for being here, honestly. And Chaz is going to wrap this up for us.
About a week ago, we announced that we're doing a little raffle with a whole bunch of Casey Jones swag. I'm going to completely butcher this last name. We pulled it this morning, but it's Michael Skurzpazik. Are you here? You got it. Thank you, sweet Casey Jones.
Don't run away, Michael. Meet them in the lobby afterwards. Get your stuff.
Meet us in the lobby.
If there's anyone here that we didn't thank specifically, please know that you are respected by us, and this thing really
Is that for Michael?
sounds cheesy, but that is the prize package.
This is the prize package, Michael. Come on up. Let's give a hand to Michael. Come on, everybody. Come on up and get your box full of stuff, because I will say the merch for this film is something I found.
That's an official Casey Jones Live Wire gift packet right there.
There
It's
you
not
go.
Some Office Max Xerox box of paper.
The first of its kind.
Yeah, so honestly thank each and every one of you. Tony Walsh, who is one of our executive producers, and as well as an amazing filmmaker. And if you forgot anybody, please know that we really appreciate you, and thank you for letting us do this crazy thing.
Thank you for coming. Please give a hand to Aaron Michaels, Charles James, Steve Chestnut, everybody, and all the cast and crew. We'll see you in the lobby and over at the shows afterwards. Thank you. Please like and subscribe online. Go share it everywhere. Come on, Casey Jones Library. Are you ready for another sandwich? I am.